What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another video today, and this one I was inspired. Honestly, there's a guy on YouTube. His channel is called Mastering Psychology Now. His video came up on my feed, so shout out to you. Not sure what his name is actually, but his video inspired me, and I wanted to do my own take on this subject, which is a very interesting phenomena that you see. And there's been many teachers, people that come to this from a manifesting approach that have described this and tried to describe this, and we're gonna cover it in this video. So why is it that when we stop caring, you notice how in life, and this could be for a lot of the times, it happens in the context of relationships, but it can also happen in the context of our goals. As soon as we kind of let go of that importance, that's something that Vadim Zeland talks about in Transurfing, and I really like his model of reality creation. It's really good. The issue is that book is so thick that I think a lot of people get deterred from reading it because of that. But essentially, in that book, he talks about how having importance on something creates what's called an excess potential. And I think another way of looking at this is this visual model that I use a lot of the time, which is that in the middle, we have this neutral attention. It's essentially what the Stoics call indifference. And there's a train going by. But I will work on cultivating my indifference by not being bothered by that, right? And the more that we can relax our importance on things, and like I posted in the latest video that we did, that allows us to rest in this state of neutrality, this state where through we can create from. This is an empowered state. The state of the anxious attachment is disempowered because it has created this importance. It has created this attached, needy, desperate sort of energy that is outcome-based. It is, I need this certain outcome. I need this certain thing to feel okay, to feel complete. I need my SP, or I need my manifestation, and otherwise I won't be able to feel good. Well, that is essentially telling the universe that you are lacking that thing, and you're going to create more of that sense of lack. You're going to have more and more reasons to feel that sense of lack. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer type of thing. And on the other side, the fearful, the side that you might make it over important in the sense that, that's too good for me. I'll never be able to get that goal because it's beyond my ability. It's not meant for me. It's meant for the chosen few. These types of narratives. And when dealing with people too, right? When dealing with that relationship, as soon as it's such an interesting thing, it's such a paradoxical thing that, as good-hearted people, a lot of people, myself included, you want to work it out between you and another person. You want to do the best that you can at something, right? And it could be any sort of thing that you're going for, whether it's playing a sport or getting better at dancing or picking up a certain skill, right? But the more importance that you attach to it, the more outcome dependent that you are, where your emotional state is now affected by the outcome, the more that you are, again, ping-ponging across these polarities, which from studying the Hermetic teachings, polarity exists in everything, and that's in the sense of the emotional state that we're talking about right now. But that overinflated ego, or the sense of superiority, or the sense of inferiority, as we know from Alfred Adler's models of psychology, are also really the same type of thing. And so you see this happening through all these different mediums and all these different teachers and all these different understandings. We're essentially coming to the same truths. And that is what is so cool about learning all these different things, is that it's like when you hear it from all these different people, you get this understanding that we're all like all truths, all wisdom. It doesn't matter if you study like ancient Chinese wisdom, Taoist philosophy, Taoism, or you want to study the Hermetic teachings, Hermetic philosophies, or you study any of these New Thought spiritual teachers like Neville, or you study Joseph Murphy or Wallace D. Wattles or James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, another great book. It's really all pointing to these infallible sorts of truths. It's like the yin and the yang in Chinese medicine and Chinese philosophy is the same masculine and feminine archetypes that are seen in the Hermetic teachings, the principle of gender. So really what I'm getting at with this is that when you are in that neutral state that the Stoics talk about, the state where you are in control over your emotions, you're not allowing your emotions to go flip-flopping in between these polarities all the time, that's what gives you power. And they say that in the Hermetic philosophy that the masters, even though there is this principle of rhythm that exists, and that's the going back and forth between the polarities, you see that most people operate through that all the time. They're states of high states of excitement and whatever, high emotional states, right? Followed by these very emotional lows. But the more that you cultivate this sort of state of equilibrium, this inner equilibrium, the more that you are able to then respond to situations rather than react. And you see how this ties in together with the recent videos that we've been doing as well. When you are in this state of equilibrium, you are centered and you are present, and you are not allowing your attention and your emotions to be dragged around by the external environment back and forth. Now you are allowing that natural flow of energy, because you are standing in truth. You are operating from a place of truth. You are not trying to do this or that or something to compensate for anything. And when you know that you haven't done anything, like let's say that in the context of putting out social media, like videos on social media, anybody that posts videos on social media, no matter what it is, no matter how good the videos might be or how helpful the person wants to be, there's always going to be haters, right? There's always going to be people that don't like you. There's always going to be situations where people leave you negative comments and things like that. And the same thing goes in life too. And when you know that you haven't done anything wrong, like you're not doing anything, you're not hurting anyone, you're just simply standing for what you believe in, that's how people are able to achieve. That's how people are able to begin to influence their reality, is by being in that way. And there's that quote from Winston Churchill that success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm, right? That is like one of the key indicators of all successful people. So when that job rejects you, or that opportunity rejects you, or somebody says they don't like your video that you posted, or you're in that relationship and the other person wants out, you don't try to force it. You don't try to argue with them. So the side of not caring that is not usually talked about when people talk about, oh, this person just doesn't care. They talk about it in this negative sense, like they don't care. It's like whatever, and that's like in this irresponsible sense that, oh yeah, if I don't care about my life, and then I'm just gonna sit around, I'm gonna play video games, I'm gonna be indulge in whatever kinds of pleasures or habits or whatever without any forethought towards the future, any of these things. But the distinction is that you're doing your best. You give it your all. Whether it's to your relationship, whether it is for that goal that you're pursuing, whether it's that skill that you're developing, you really put your best foot forward. You really do the thing. And if it doesn't work out, you're okay with that. You're okay with that. And that is the law of detachment in practice. When you come at it from that state where you are doing it, you're embodying it, you're pursuing something, and you're to the best of your ability, and the other person doesn't want to be in the relationship with you anymore, it's like, okay, it's like that is what it is. And if that opportunity, it slips by, that thing that you've been wanting to achieve, okay, like if this business, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe this business idea was just part of the tapestry of my life, like an oil painting where there's all these different colors, or like a storybook where the character goes through this and then they go through this and then they go through this. And only in hindsight can you see the masterful story that has been told, right? The hero's journey. And that's, again, another, just a reframe. So much of life is just reframing your perspective on things continually. So that thing that you really put your heart and soul into, whether it's a relationship, whether it is a project, whether it is, that job that you were really, whatever it might be, well, if it doesn't work out, and again, coming from that abundance mindset, look, there's going to be somebody else that's even better. There's going to be an opportunity that's even better, right? And there's no way that I'm going to be able to control this situation or this person. That's, again, one issue that I have with people in this manifestation community is this idea of getting people to constantly conform to you. Well, if this person doesn't want to be with you, or if this job opportunity, or people are continually disrespecting you in this work environment, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be, well, then value yourself enough that you're going to say, hey, look, I have this higher standard for myself, and I'm not going to accept this type of thing. And then when you do that, and when you step into your power like that, you're going to begin to attract the right people for you. You're going to be able to begin to attract the right circumstances for you. You're going to be able to attract the right opportunities for you. So you really take your power back. You really become powerful when you stop caring in this way that is so outcome based, because it is a form of, it gets you off balance. It gets you off of that inner equilibrium, and it puts you into the anxious state. It puts you into the fearful state. And people respond. It's so strange, but that's the way that it works. And I can relate, because as somebody that I always want to do my best, right? It doesn't matter what I'm doing. And so I always want to do that thing to the utmost that I can and have success with it, whether it's a relationship, whether it is a project, whether it's a thing that I'm working on. And so when you do something and you give it your all and it doesn't work out, it can be challenging, right? But part of it is just accepting that and moving forward, knowing that you are creating opportunities for yourself by stepping and being the fullest possible version of yourself that you can be, by being that best version of yourself, by developing yourself continually, that you are going to attract the right people to you eventually. You are going to attract the right opportunities to you eventually. You are going to be a success. So when you dwell on success, when you dwell on positive things, and a lot of the times it could literally be that God or the universe or source is literally saving you from something that was going to take you off of your path and prevent you from being that highest version that you can possibly be. And so it's really, really powerful, the perspectives that you adopt, the reframes that you're able to do in your mind that frame something else in this other light so that you're able to see this best perspective. The thing that might have hurt so much could have been one of the greatest blessings, and that is now sending you on the trajectory that is going to allow you to become in alignment, to become that highest self that you can possibly be. So with that being said, you become really powerful when you're able to act in your own truth, but also at the same time act with detachment. And that's what I call detached action. And so I'm not the only person. It's not like I coined that term or anything, but when you act, when you embody that version of yourself, but you are at the same time detached, that is when you start to see magical things happen, because that energy is just an attractive energy to people, but also to the universe itself. The universe is like, wow, this person is really doing this thing. There's no lack energy there. There's no, oh, I'm trying to, make this thing happen, because that's an abundant energy. That person that's able to act without needing it. Like, I can be nice to people, I can be kind to somebody, but I don't need them to validate me or whatever. You see this happen with a lot of successful people too, that I saw, there's been clips that have been posted, I don't know if they're interviews from 50 Cent or if it's readings from one of his books or something, but he just says there's a lot of people in his life, as he's achieved success, people that just, they want from him. They want more and more from him. And people in this life that we're in, unfortunately, a lot of people are weak. A lot of people have weak character. A lot of people will take your kindness for weakness. And it's up to you in these circumstances to be able to practice discernment. It's not for you to make every single person under the sun conform to like you or to act the way you want. It is for you to decide who it is that you allow to get close to you. When you have standards, when you have an abundant mindset, when you have an abundant outlook, you're going to be yourself. You're going to be and embody that highest version of yourself. And just because you run into somebody that's toxic or whatever, you're not going to step back into that story that's like, oh, why do I keep attracting toxic people? You're just simply going to be like, okay, well, they're getting cut off. Or at the very least, yeah, they might be an acquaintance, but I'm not actually investing energy into this relationship, right? Because I have standards for myself. I know who it is that I want to be around. I know the quality of people that I'm willing to invest into and the quality of people that I'm not. Because I've already been through these experiences, right? And so allowing those things to fall away, whether it's that relationship, whether it is that, like I said, that career thing, that goal, that certain thing. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you need to let it fall away, like in a career sense. Okay, well, maybe it didn't work out at this one place, but doesn't mean that there's so many other ways to achieve what it is that you want, like that true. And that's why it's important, again, to get in touch with your values, because when you're in alignment with your values, you realize that there's all these different avenues that you can still be living in that truth for yourself. What is your truth? Because that is what the ultimate version of you that seeks to express itself in this three-dimensional plane that we're on. So, allow yourself to act in that detached manner and practice the law of detachment. Essentially, that's really what we're talking about here. But you really do become powerful when you begin to loosen up, when you begin to not care so much, again, about the opinions of others. That's one of the main things. And that's really why that book, The Courage to Be Disliked, is like such a banger of a book. Because essentially, by doing that, you are going to embody your highest truth. When you decide to act in the fullness and the truest that you possibly can, you know that there's certain people that aren't going to like you. It's impossible. Like there's like millions and billions of people on the planet, and if you're acting and standing in your truth, there's going to be people that don't like it. That's just the way that it is. You see anybody that's famous, right? You see the fact that they always have haters. There's always going to be somebody that has something to say. And even if you're not famous, it's the same thing, right? But by doing that, that's also proving to the universe that you are uncaring, that you don't care, that you are practicing this indifference in this positive manner, the way that the Stoics talk about. And that is what makes you powerful. That's what makes you also magnetic to the people that you are meant to attract, is by practicing that indifference in that positive way. Not in the uncaring, irresponsible way, but in the positive sense of the meaning of it. That being said, guys, much love as always. Really appreciate all the love that I've been getting on the channel lately. And drop this with a like, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.